several museums.
That didn't sound like business. Was that a date you were on?
No, that was a business trip, but she was a very beautiful and distracting young lady, I will say that.
You're listening to the Junior Birdman Podcast.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Junior Birdman Podcast. I am your host, the Junior Birdman. Today we're joined by our friend Gil, who's going to give us some insight into his experience, his vast wealth of knowledge from his travels around the world. One of our favorites joining the show. Gil, welcome to the Junior Birdman Podcast.
Well, hello again, Birdman.
Always fun to have you here. For those of you who don't know, Gil is a pilot. He's talked to us before. He has some vast experience, traveled the world. These are a list of vacation hotspots, I understand. And Gil is a man who knows the world.
Yes, of course. I am a man of the world. I am a man of a very small world, though.
All right. But these are places you've been to before. These are places you can recommend people go that you've traveled to yourself.
Yes, I recommend these places for Americans looking for a new vacation spot overseas.
Right, okay. And these are overseas, because there's a lot of great places right here in the United States, too. But these are...
Yes, there are many fine places within the U.S. as well.
Yep, I'm sure there are. I know you know what those places are as well, I
Yes, I will be glad to come back and do a list of those as well.
Oh, that'll be fantastic. Well, I look forward to that. But all right,
it will be my pleasure, Birdman.
That's fantastic. All right, well, tell us about the list of places that we're going to hear from you today.
Okay, well, these are places that Americans tend to go back to often. They like to vacation at these places.
Okay. And everybody's going to know these places when they hear the name. It's not going to be foreign to them.
Yes, everyone will have heard of these, which is why they are very popular, which is why people go back so often, you fool.
Okay. And you have a favorite among this list? Your favorite place among the...
I will tell you my favorite at the end of the list.
Okay, fair enough. And how many total are there on the list?
There are 5 places on the list.
Okay, and you're going to do an order from worst to first or best to last?
Of course, they're not in any specific order. If I did that, I'd be giving it away, you fool.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so calm down, Gilbert. All right, well, what's the first place on the list?
Okay, the first place is Cancun, Mexico.
What's so great about Cancun, Mexico?
Cancun has really beautiful beaches. It has warm weather. I think that's still the main thing that Cancun has that draws people there. It's very vibrant with its nightlife, but I think that's a little less popular now. I think the beaches are still the main thing, but I'm not sure. I haven't been myself lately.
When's the last time you were there in Cancun?
It's been a while, at least a year or more since I've been.
Okay. And it seems like it's had some really bad PR in the news. Tell us below, actually, in the comments, what you think about traveling to Cancun as a vacation destination and what you think about Gilbert's choice. Because, I know, like I say, a lot of folks...
Americans still love Cancun. The Mayan ruins are still there, too. They love those still.
That's true. No, can't argue with that. All right, so what's next on our list, Gilbert?
Okay, next on the list is Paris, France, which Birdman, I have traveled to many, many times for business.
Yes, you've told me that you've traveled there many times. I know it's one of your favorite places to go. You always go there on business, or is it...
business that was very pleasurable, let's say, or business that turned into pleasure, whichever way you like it.
Okay. And what do you like to do, or what do you think most people like to do when they go to Paris?
Well, at first, everyone wants to visit the Eiffel Tower or maybe a museum. I spent an entire day there with a fine young lady touring several museums throughout Paris on a trip there one time. Took the whole day towards several museums.
That didn't sound like business. Was that a date you were on?
No, that was a business trip, but she was a very beautiful and distracting young lady, I will say that.
Okay. Do you remember what museums you visited in Paris specifically?
I'm not sure which museums we went to. I was very distracted at the time, like I said.
Okay. So what? She hired you to fly her to Paris and take you on a tour of museums and paid you for that, or?
Oh, I was the pilot for a party, and she was the main. This was her entourage, which I toured with all through the city. I was just along for the ride, Birdman.
All right, I got you. Okay, I see. All right, well, let's go ahead and move on. What's the next city on the list?
Okay, the next place is London, England, home to the Queen and Buckingham Palace.
Yes. Everybody likes the palace when they go to England, right? To London.
Yes, everyone rushes to see the palace and the guards with the big hats, hoping maybe one of them will snap and break out of character and pop into some type of soldier attack stance, but it never happens. They all just stand there looking like a big toy soldier.
That's true. What else can people do when they're in London besides visit the palace?
Well, you also have Big Ben, the Tower of London. There's lots of history, but I think London lately is a lot more for young people now. They want to go out and party too. It's changed a lot in recent years.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't realize
Last time I was there with a friend who came to London to buy some Persian rugs from a guy in Petersfield, which is just outside of London.
Persian rugs? So that's quite interesting.
Yes, Persian rugs. Exactly what you would expect in London, right?
So you flew a guy into London to buy some Persian rugs?
I flew him into Luton for that trip. It's a smaller airport north of Heathrow. Heathrow is the main airport there in London.
I see. It sounds a little shady, gotta say. You know, you're flying a guy and...
Everything was inspected by customs. Everything was fine. There was nothing illegal, I assure you. And these were beautiful rugs. I saw two, and he unrolled two of them for me at the jetport. It was beautiful rugs.
All right, no, I'll take your word for it. I'm sure it was all on the up and up. All right, well, what's the next destination on your list for us?
Okay, the next destination is Tokyo, Japan.
Tokyo, Japan. Okay.
Oh, after my first visit, I was hooked. It's just a city that lures you in.
Really? Lures you in. Do you speak Japanese?
I do not speak Japanese. I always go there with somebody who does, though.
I see. And what do you like to do when you're in Tokyo?
Well, lots of Americans like to visit the scenic sights and the majestic gardens. I, of course, just like walking around Tokyo at night. I am just fascinated by the nightlife of Tokyo.
I didn't realize. So the nightlife is pretty big in Tokyo. I didn't realize.
It is an unforgettable experience, Birdman. You will want to go back no matter how long you stay, no matter how many times you go.
All right, fantastic. Okay, so what's the final location on our list that you have for us?
Okay, our final destination on the list is Sydney, Australia.
The Opera House.
Yes, the Opera House is the symbol of the city, but the beaches, I think, are why people go back.
Really? So the beaches are great. I didn't realize.
It's a very exotic continent. You always have the feeling you want to go back to see what you missed the last time you were there.
All right. So there's lots to do there. I know it's a big island or continent. I guess it's actually both, so I don't know.
It's a continent and a country and an island, all in one.
That's true. So I guess when you think of Australia, you think of those wide open spaces and the outback. Is that really still the case for, modern Australia when you visit today?
I think it's very fast-paced in Sydney, but overall, I think things are much more laid back down under.
All right, fair enough. All right, Gilbert. Well, that was a fine list, and appreciate you revealing that for us. And now, we'd like you to reveal which is your favorite destination. Drum roll, please, for us. Do we have a drum roll yet? We need to get a drum roll. Okay, we really need to get one. All right, Gilbert, your favorite destination is?
My favorite place on the list is Tokyo.
Tokyo.
I just love to visit there. They have an intersection in Shibuya in Tokyo. You can just stand there. It's like a game show. A light turns red and hordes of people come storming out like they were unchained from all directions, rushing in each direction to try to get across the street before the light goes green again. It's like a chaotic
Sounds like a
madhouse.
chaos in traffic. It actually sounds a little bit dangerous, actually.
I'll say more like chaotic art, because they all definitely know where they're going and they don't seem to crash into each other. It's just this smooth flow like they do it all the time. It is amazing.
All right. And when you go to Tokyo, are you going to Tokyo for business usually as well, or?
The people I have gone to Tokyo with were not there to buy rugs, Birdman. They were there to celebrate, and I was their pilot, their chauffeur, just along for the ride.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's lots of things that can get you into trouble in Tokyo.
Yes, very beautiful women in Tokyo. Lots of exotic nightlife, too.
All right. When was the last time you were in Tokyo?
I was there about 3 weeks ago.
Okay. And you were with friends, or was it business, or?
I will not say here publicly.
Okay, fair enough. Trying to do your best to protect the innocent, I see. So.
No, I'm trying to protect the guilty in this case.
All right, fair enough. Well, Gil, thanks for joining us today, for sharing that with us. I want you to comment down below on what you think of Gil's choices, what you think about his favorite. And Gil, always fun to have you, and thanks again for joining us here today.
It was a pleasure as always.
And there he goes, folks.
Thank you for listening to the Junior Birdman Podcast. Be sure to like this video, share this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notifications bell to be alerted when new videos are posted.